And so like, I kind of want to call out, like, I think there are two kinds of sort of major biases that we face that I think is like really good to talk about in this group, because we've got like kind of different people around the table for this. One is institutional, in the sense that VCs are kind of, and this is a well-documented and well-acknowledged effect, where there is a preference for and like kind of a historical bias effect when people look at founders, particularly in the early stage. And, you know, if you're a repeat founder, you get better valuations and you get more money. But that inherently really hurts women, because historically there haven't been that many women founders. So by definition, you're pretty much almost always going to be a first-time founder. So you're always on the back foot because of this bias. And that's where a lot of the money is going, especially in this kind of environment where people are more risk off. The other thing I think is unconscious bias, which is that you may do something, but because you're a woman, you're perceived differently for it. So I think that can take the form of like discounting, or just like in something which is like could go either way, you are sort of looked at more negatively. Like, honestly, I don't know like if there is like a fix for all of these things, but there is all the usual things you have to do as a founder in order to get funding, which is like you have to really pound the pavement. You have to be really nimble with your story. It is like story. And there's all these other kind of different kind of tips and tricks you can employ. But I do think there is a thing which I found like particularly annoying. And I don't know if like people around this sort of like podcast will have things about this, but I had a lot of people tell me like, oh, it must be easier for you to raise because you're a woman, because there's all this like initiatives now where, you know, people want to like give money to women founders. And like, I mean, I don't know, like that's kind of horseshit. Like,
I mean, it's like, what universe are they on?
Yeah, I don't know what universe.
Because being a woman has been the winning combination, a woman founder to gain funding.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying. Like in the VC community, there's a lot of like, we want to back more female founders, but we just can't find them. And I think that goes back to what Emma was saying about unconscious bias. And if they see a female founder, then maybe unconsciously they'll be looking at them differently versus a male founder doing pretty much exactly the same thing. So one of the stats that I read recently in a Harvard Business Review article called The Other Diversity Dividend is that VC firms that have increased the number of female partners by 10% saw 1.5% spike in annual returns and 9.7% more profitable exits. So this is very impressive considering that only 28.8% of all VC investments end in a profitable exit. And Kathryn is an amazing example of that, having sold Cabbage to American Express.
I mean, queen. I'm like, round of applause, just like.
So I kind of want to say something controversial. I would love that. Okay. I do think that women tend to be more risk averse. And as a result, I don't know that women are comfortable pitching up really big ideas, something that's going to be huge. And I think the problem is so many investors are looking for a huge idea. They want a big outcome and a big exit. And so I think that confidence, women need confidence to believe that they can actually do something really big. And I think women tend to think in a smaller scale. And not because we suck or are dumb or anything. It was just that we want to have kids too. And we want to like take care of our moms when they're sick. And, you know, there's a million things that we want to do. So it's like, it's a really daunting thing. My husband's been the at-home parent. We've been married for 31 years. He's been the at-home parent for 23 of them. And I couldn't have done it without that. Like zero chance.
No, 100%. And even on my side, you know, I recently got engaged and my fiance is absolutely incredible. He's here today outside and I could never do this without him. You know, as an entrepreneur myself, as someone building a 2-year-old startup, I don't even know how people do it by yourself. Those women out there doing it by yourselves with the kids and the everything and managing the whole household. Like he cooks and he does he makes sure the house is in order and he makes sure that we take time to hang out with our friends and do the things because I'm so deep in here. And
we don't ask for help either.
Yeah.
We're not good at that.
Oh my gosh. And that's why the community element is so important because we have to say that we need help. Was there ever a moment for you when you were building Cabbage that you were like, okay, I absolutely, or did you kind of know right away because you had such a great foundational support with your husband?
I think it was fine. It was fine for me because it was also my sixth startup. So it wasn't, we'd already kind of been down the trail.
Yeah.